I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
I knew it. I love when he does that.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Adrenaline in my soul, something, something, Cody Rhodes. I'm the tribal chief around here. Yeah, you see me, the tribal chief. That's right.
Time. But let me go ahead and tell you.
Shut your bitch ass up.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 451 of the Hoots Podcast. It's your boys, the nefarious brother Adam, a.k.a. Joshie Lopez, here on this Friday, February 7th, 2025, ready to rock and roll as the road to episode 500 continues and the road to WrestleMania 41 begins in Las Vegas. Lots to discuss on the program as I'll recap the Royal Rumble, answer your questions in this week's edition of the Back Porch Q&A session, kind of go over these nonsense soliloquies and the annual bitch fest about the Royal Rumble winners that we get from social media every year, and we'll get into that later on. Please do me a favor. You can find me at Twitter if you like at the Hoots Podcast. I'm on Instagram at Josh Lopez Music. Please hit me up in the results section of WrestlingHeadlines.com. That's where you can see my play-by-play articles and stuff like that. I appreciate the support there. And the best way to support this podcast as we drop it every single Friday, free of charge, is to, on the YouTube side, make sure to hit the like button and smash the subscribe button. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And then the best way to really help expand the reach of the show of the podcast and hopefully us get some ROI in return would be to follow and stream the podcast on the on the Spotify platforms. So follow and stream the Hoots Podcast. It's free of charge. I don't charge you anything to listen to this podcast. And I appreciate any of you who take the time to watch or listen to these episodes, whether it's for a minute, 30 seconds, the entire episode, regardless. I do appreciate the support. We're 49 episodes away from the final edition of the Hoots Podcast. And we're ready here to start this final chapter. So, before we get into all the wrestling talk and stuff like that, and recap the week that was, there's a couple things that have been on my mind that I want to get off my chest really quick. Just some overlapping things that have just been on my mind over the past couple days. I recently just got my 1099 form from my for the site. I helped share the articles for Call Wrestling Headlines, and thinking about it, I've been at the site for 8 years now, and I feel like for me, I don't know about you guys, but like sometimes I with dealing with self-doubt, I also deal with a little bit of imposter syndrome, and I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of disappointed in myself and what I was able to bring back this year and what I made from the articles. I felt like I was doing some of the best work of my career, but I'm also sitting back here realizing that I'm making $1,500. No, not even that. I make at best $1,400 a month for these articles, and a lot of the stuff around Rumble and Mania season gets me in a reflective mood because I said this before. This is around the time period where I started my media career and stuff like that, and like especially this week, I'm fighting a big sense of imposter syndrome, and not in a way of like me feeling as if I made a mistake getting in this field or anything like that. It's just like I really thought that I'd be further along than I am, and while it's great to say that I have this job and that I feel like I'm putting out good work and my articles do rank high and stuff like that, it's just like It's really hard to say. Like I don't feel like I'm wasting my time. I feel like what I have been doing for the last 11 years will pay off in some way, in some fashion. I don't know what that, and I guess the biggest thing is I don't know what that looks like or when that's going to happen. Like, I'll never sit here and feel like I made a mistake or I regret getting into this field or I'm wasting my time or anything like that. Like, it's just really a battle of imposter syndrome, and also the fact of, like, I really thought that I'd be further along in my media career than I am right now. And, you know, this is the double-edged sword of getting into this type of field, you know. One thing I will say, though, is that what I'm feeling right now will never have to do with anything coming from a jealous point of view or anything like that, or bitter or jadiness. I've seen those type of people. I've worked with these type of people before in my life. I'm not bitter towards the wrestling media industry. I'm not bitter towards the business as a whole. I'm not bitter or jealous or anybody that was able to go to Indianapolis and get to cover all these events for free and stuff like that and get to be in press boxes and stuff like that. I'll never sit here and be like, I should be here, I should be there instead of this person or anything like that. That's just not how I wired as a human being. I think a lot of these situations are earned than something that should be handed out to you. I'm really battling a big sense of imposter syndrome, and like I'm starting to question myself, like, what am I doing wrong? And I think, you know, sometimes, like, we're all human. We all deal with, like, internal battles with our mental health, and I ask those questions of myself, and then, like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong. I feel like I go about my business the right way. I feel like my articles speak for itself, and they rank high. I don't get the opportunity to cover as much shows as I used to, but I just really felt that I'd be further along than I am right now, and it sucks. And it's definitely hitting me right now because not only do I felt like I'd be further along with what I'm doing, it's just also knowing the fact that I'm not happy here. You know, I've expressed that point now to ad nauseum that I'm not happy in being in Chicago anymore. And, like, I don't know where that silver lining is, because I could have people tell me in my life that, oh, just look at wrestling as a hobby and put it to the side now. I get people tell me to quit my dreams. I get people tell me to don't go to Florida now. You know, I could have so many people try to convince me to do things in the way they do things, and, like, I'm really struggling to hold on to things that are keeping me happy at this point. And the one thing that has always been there for me, no matter what's gone on in my life, good, bad, or different, I've always had wrestling. So I can't have somebody tell me to my face to put wrestling aside as if it doesn't matter. I'm not saying as if, oh, I thought I'd be further along in the sense of, like, oh, I should be at WWE right now. That's not what I'm saying. Like, I know how few and far between those opportunities come to work in the business of the wrestling business, but, like, just amongst my own profession, I thought I'd be further along. I thought I would have the opportunity to work at a sports radio station. I thought I would, like, I feel like I'm worthy enough to be in these positions. I've had people who run local sports radio stations in Chicago tell me that I'm worthy for positions, and I've had multiple job interviews at both stations for the same job, and here I am. And it's like, it's frustrating. It really is. And I guess when I deal with self-doubt, it's just like, you know, I don't know where I rank amongst my colleagues now in the wrestling media. I don't know if my voice matters anymore. I don't know if I'm doing a good enough job with this show anymore. I know the show's coming to an end once we get to episode 500, but, like, I don't know, guys. I really don't. and it sucks. I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to put myself down. I feel like I come here each week to give you the best that I got and speak from the heart, and I feel like we do have a great podcast, and we've been able to accomplish a lot of cool things. I never thought this show would hit over 1 million downloads or stuff like that. I never thought that would happen. I never did. I never thought that I'd be able to pay my own rent and groceries off of doing these articles. That's not a bad thing. I'm proud to say that. I'm proud to say that I never had to ask for money, and I've done this on my own accord, and like, it's a lot of things. I feel like I should be further along than I am right now in my field, and I'm not happy in Chicago, and it's just like there's days where I want to pull my hair out. There's days where I'm still feel lonely in a little way too, and that's part of the reason why I want to make this move, because I need to start over. I need like a clean slate and just clear my head of everything here. Like, I wake up every day and I'm reminded of what I don't have and what it's not great to live your life waking every day and remind yourself that you're not happy in where you are in your life and where you're living. It's just not. And I need to come with a solution. It's not as if I'm not applying myself to try to get other jobs. I do. I send out applications, but people still think it's like the 70s and 80s, and you can just pick up a random job out of nowhere like that. It doesn't work that way. And I'm trying my best to keep myself a level-headed approach with this, and not try to put myself down as much. But it's not easy, Like I don't know if I'm still good at this. I don't know if I have enough confidence within myself, knowing that I feel like my articles, at least from the play-by-play articles, are second to none compared to the other people who do it. Like, I feel like I'm the best at my craft when it comes to the play-by-play articles. It's just like, I don't know what's missing right now. I don't know what it is that I'm doing wrong, where I should be further along in this process, and it sucks. It really is. I hope I'm not trying to bring you guys down. I really allowed this platform for opportunity for me to like kind of verbally express how I'm feeling. Some thoughts bubble throughout the week, and some things just need to come out. And I appreciate you guys allow me to be vulnerable and honest with you guys. And like, it's not all bad. Like, I'm still taking care of what I need to take care of. I still do my walks every day. I still cook, for my meal preps throughout the week. I still, try to keep myself from a positive point of view and, kind of keep the sweet side of Joshie that I've always had. Like, I'm just not, overall in my life right now, I'm not happy. And it sucks to say that, but I gotta be honest with myself, and I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm not happy. I'm not where I want to be in my life, and it sucks, But I say this stuff, and I'm not. Trust me, I'm not looking for any sympathy for anybody. I'm not alone in these situations. We're just having an open, honest conversation. I've always treated this podcast in that sense of like, we're hanging out on a Saturday night or whatever, and we're shooting this shit, and we're having real life conversations. I want you guys to feel as if I'm sitting next to you, and we're having real conversations about life. Yes, this is a wrestling podcast. Yes, we like to have fun and crack jokes and stuff like that, but this is real life too, and this is stuff that's been bubbling in my head over the past couple of days. I just needed to get it out there and just let it be known, So I appreciate you guys letting me say what I need to say, and that concludes our monologue here. So when we come back, we'll get to what happened this week in WWE, recap the Royal Rumble, I have to address the fickle Nimrods that we get each and every single year during WrestleMania season, and we'll get to more stuff after that. Right here on episode 451 of the Hoots Podcast. We'll be right back. Yeet. Welcome back to the Hoots Podcast, everybody. Time to talk about what happened this week in WWE. Oh, man. I generally, want to get excited to do these Rumble reviews and stuff like that, and, every year, in April, which is kind of ironic, a little bit after WrestleMania will be the 9th anniversary of the podcast, right? So we'll have that 9th anniversary show a little bit after WrestleMania this year, and I'm thinking about it we've done this every year, where Royal Rumble, sometimes in the late 2010s, maybe some of those Rumbles weren't great, but especially for the last 4 to 5 years, these shows have been top notch. But lo and behold, we have bitching after bitching after bitching after bitching, and it's just I'm not gonna come here and rant and rave. You guys kind of know how I feel about the fickle Nimrods on X. People live and die off these opinions on X as if they're the gospel or the the pray tale way of how the entire landscape of the industry feels about WWE and how things should go, and Triple H is making a mistake and all this bullshit. No, I'm not going to come here and rant and rave on a bunch of Nimrods. These same people were a week ago, almost 2 weeks ago, since Saturday Night's Main Event was 2 weeks ago, actually. Nearly 2 weeks ago, the same people you see crying this week on these podcasts and on X, crying and moaning and bitching about Jey Uso winning the Men's Royal Rumble match, are the same people that are crying over him losing the match to Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship and saying, he's buried. It shows itself each and every single WrestleMania season, guys. We do the same song and dance. It's the same 3 things. I didn't like the Rumble winner. I didn't get what I want. We need a triple threat match. It's the same 3 shit every single WrestleMania season. I didn't get what I want for the Rumble. This person should have won the Rumble. And we need to make it a triple threat match at WrestleMania, okay? That's what needs to happen, because I'm offended and I'm going to tweet it out. It's like clockwork. It happens every WrestleMania season. So, okay, you're upset about Charlotte Flair just waltzing back in from injury and winning the Women's Royal Rumble match, but you're not mad at Cody Rhodes for doing the same thing back in 2023? Who's to say that it's an automatic lock that Charlotte is going to beat Tiffany Stratton and or Rhea Ripley, regardless of the championship she decides to go after, at WrestleMania this year? I just love how we just jump to I just know how we get to these prolonged conclusions based on what happens at the Royal Rumble. Now we're saying that CM Punk is going to fight John Cena and CM Punk is going to fight Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins because of the squabble that they had during the Rumble match. It can happen. I'm not saying that it can't happen, but we go from 0 to 60 from every WrestleMania season, and I just don't get it. I really don't. Just watch the fucking show, and it should show yourself where angles are going. I keep saying that it's more likely that Seth Rollins is going to fight Sami Zayn at WrestleMania this year than Seth Rollins is going to fight CM Punk. Who knows? Maybe CM Punk and Roman Reigns fight each other at WrestleMania this year. You never know. Who knows? Maybe CM Punk goes on to win the Elimination Chamber, and CM Punk will take on Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Watch the shows. Watch the program. And then the arguments about Jey Uso. you guys are fickle. You really are. You're the same people that spend every calendar year saying, "Oh, this guy, listen to the pops. Look how over the guy is. Oh, why are we putting the title on him? He wins the Rumble, and you're still mad about it." It makes no sense. It really doesn't. And don't give me this crap about, oh, Jey Uso is unworthy of Gunther because it's not going to be a 5-star wrestling match. Guys, this is WrestleMania. It's not Wrestle Kingdom. These are two different shows. And to spit in that guy's face and say that guy can't put on at least a 4-star match, I want to smack myself in the face for just saying that out loud. Why the fuck are we having conversations in 2025 based on what Dave Meltzer thinks? Who gives a shit what he has to say? His opinion is irrelevant. The fact that I just littered out 4 stars and 5 stars makes me want to throw up. What are we doing here? Oh my God, we need to get out of the freaking Seltzer and Alvarez vortex of how we view professional wrestling, man. Holy shit, man. What are we doing? I'm tired of the fickleness. Okay, if you don't like Charlotte Flair personally or her character, fine, that's your prerogative. But I can tell fake outrage and fickleness like nobody else's business. Like, I hate disingenuous takes, and I hate rhetoric and threads and conversations that just littered with agenda and bullshit and you know, how would I phrase it here? Like, you know, it's just like fishing for, like, so desperately clinging on to, like, you know what I'm trying to say, like, you know, just desperate for clickbait and, you know, attention seeking, you know, like, it's just ridiculous. So, you want my opinion on the Royal Rumble? I'll tell you my opinion on the Royal Rumble. I thought the show was fantastic. Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes put on one of the best ladder matches that I've seen in the past couple of years. Just phenomenal stuff. I thought Randy Orton was going to be there, but I guess now it's not the time. I'd love to see if Randy Orton pops up tonight. You know, SmackDown's going to be in Memphis. Who knows, maybe Randy comes back at the Elimination Chamber. There's so many things still up in the air. We got Elimination Chamber qualifying matches coming up. CM Punk is already qualified for the men's. John Cena's in the men's Elimination Chamber match as well. Liv Morgan is in the women's Elimination Chamber match. By the way, can we give a shout out to Liv Morgan? Not only another great performance in the Royal Rumble match, but can we give it up for her waterfall too? Holy moly, man. Also, shout out to Liv for a pretty good match with Io Sky this week for that qualifying for the Women's Elimination Chamber. So that was pretty cool. DIY Motor City Machine Guns 2 out of 3 falls match. A pretty solid match. Street Profits came in and attacked. Curious to see what they have to say tonight. They don't have a promo segment. I think with SmackDown being 3 hours now, I think you're going to get a chance for some of these underdeveloped characters or divisions and stuff like that to get some more time to build out their characters and their promos and their storylines and stuff like that. So I know a lot of people are not crazy about 3-hour SmackDowns. I don't mind it, obviously. But, you know, I appreciate it. It's a good opportunity to get some more context and development for these characters that don't get as much TV time. So you got that. Both Rumble matches were dope. Love seeing Joe Henry in there. Really enjoyed seeing Jordan Grace. Alexa Bliss looked phenomenal. Shout out to one of my major crushes in wrestling, Nikki Bella, making her return. She looked phenomenal. It was just a fun night. You know, I really enjoyed covering the event. It was good from top to bottom. Indy looked fantastic as a crowd. Lucas Oil Stadium is one of the more underrated stadiums in the NFL, just from a visual point of view. And I thought this was a good showcase. You know, they have a partnership now with WWE. They're going to have a future SummerSlam there, a future WrestleMania. So far, so good. So far, so good with the a relationship with WWE in Indianapolis. And they did a very good job. So I want to give shout out to the entire city of Indianapolis for being a good host city. And it was a good vibes. I had a good time covering the Royal Rumble this past Saturday, and so far so good to start off 2025. All that being said, real quick, some stuff from Raw. Really enjoyed the match with CM Punk and Sami Zayn. I thought that was fantastic. Kevin Owens attacking Sami Zayn with the package pile driver. Do we get Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in Toronto? I think that'd be very interesting. I know a lot of people said that match could happen at WrestleMania. I still think in a way that's going to be Kevin Owens and Randy Orton at WrestleMania, kind of like a full circle type of thing, because Kevin and Randy were kind of partners at the time when they were going after Logan Paul. I see more of like Randy taking on Kevin at WrestleMania and Sammy taking on somebody like Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, something like that, you know what I mean? So we have all these questions about who's going to fight who at WrestleMania. This is why we need to watch the programs. But Sami Zayn and CM Punk had a really good match on Raw this week, so I thought that was pretty cool. New Day, LWO was pretty good as well as a tag match. Some really good wrestling on Raw, just in general. Penta, you know, he had a match with Ludwig Kaiser, which was pretty solid too. NXT, we got Vengeance Day coming up a week from tomorrow. No, I think it's on a Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, right? No, it's Saturday. My bad, it's Saturday. So a week from tomorrow, they got Vengeance Day in Washington, D.C. at the Sports and Entertainment Arena. I recall that venue because that's where a lot of the New Japan Strong and AEW shows were at that venue. So excited for that. You know, we got Obafemi putting his NXT title on the line in a triple threat against Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. We got Roxanne Perez, Bayley taking on Julia in another triple threat for the NXT Women's Championship. I thought the segment with Bayley, Julia, Roxanne Perez, and Cora Jade and Charlotte Flair on NXT this week was pretty good. The tag team main event with Oba and Trick Williams against A-Town Down Under was pretty good. Also, I believe on the show, we got Fallon Henley against Stephanie Vancouver. That's going to be a dope match. Looking very, very excited for that. That should be a fun match to transcribe. Some good stuff, all in all, from NXT. I think we got Tony D'Angelo and Rich Holland in the steel cage match next week on TV. It was great to see Fandango make his return on NXT this week. It was pretty funny to see that. All in all, some good stuff from NXT, and all in all, a pretty solid week this week in WWE. But well, we got one more segment to do here on the podcast of Hoots, and it's time to answer your questions in this week's edition of the Back Porch Q&A session right here on the podcast of Hoots, episode 451. Yeet, we'll be right back. All right. One more segment to do here on the podcast of Hoots this week. Time to answer your questions for this week's edition of the Back Porch Q&A session. As always, if you want to participate in the Back Porch Q&A session, all you have to do is hit me up at Twitter at the Hoots Podcast or the Hoots Podcast at gmail.com. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Josh Render and Craig Thomas from How I Met Your Mother. They got a new podcast coming out in March called How We Made Your Mother. So we get Ted Mosby and Craig Thomas, the co-creator of How I Met Your Mother, recapping the process of making my personal favorite television show of all time. So I'm really, really, really excited for this. And I'm excited for it to come out in March. I'm really excited for it, as if you can't tell. How I Met Your Mother is definitely, outside of wrestling, one of my big mental escapes for me. It's my personal favorite show. And, Josh Radnor and his portrayal of Ted Mosby is probably my favorite, thing on television of all time for me, personally. So I'm really excited for this, and I'm excited to check out their podcast when it drops. But it's called How We Made Your Mother, and it should be pretty good. Anyways, let's do the traditional opening as we do for the segment each week. Let's do it. Let's drop the X. For the good brother Chris Zaletta at XingZaletta24X on the Twitter machine. He says, "What up, Oos here? Some questions for the Q&A this week. How do you truly feel about some of these two-faced individuals in your working field of wrestling? Please vent away." Look, you're gonna get two-faced people in every form of work. I said it earlier that any of my personal, professional frustrations that I'm dealing with right now has really nothing to do with anybody in particular out of jealousy or bitterness or spite. That's not how I feel about it. But there's definitely a lot of two-faced people in the wrestling space. You know who they are. I don't need to give validity to their names. They know who they are, and they rat themselves out each and every single week. But, it is what it is. C'est la vie. Does Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan happen at WrestleMania? I guess. It just depends on how many... We got to understand here, too, guys, that, I get it, WrestleMania's 2 nights, but I think people still have the mentality that we're in the Vince era, that we're still going to have, these 8-9 match cards for each night of WrestleMania. I just don't think it's going to happen. If it does, I would love to see it. It would be fantastic. Obviously, I'm not going to complain from a waterfall point of view, but Alexa and Liv, I would love to see it. I just don't know if that's the match that's going to happen at WrestleMania as a one-on-one match. I just don't. Thoughts on Duke Hudson's release? It was a bummer to see that. I was a big fan of his work. He improved a lot over the years. I've seen him from scratch in NXT, especially with the early stages of NXT 2.0 to where he is now. He did some stuff, I believe, on 205 Live, too, if I'm not mistaken. But guy's very talented for a guy his size and how tall he is. I enjoyed his work. It sucks seeing that, but I wish him the best in what he decides to do next. He's pretty witty with his promo skills and stuff like that, and he's pretty good in the ring. So I was bummed to hear that. So I wish Duke Hudson nothing but the best. When do you think we see the former Chase U members back on TV? That's a tough question. I think they're introducing a lot of new performers now, and I think maybe something where they come back after Stand and Deliver, something like that. That'd probably be my best answer to that question. Who will be the next induction? Who will the next induction be for the WWE Hall of Fame? Michael Cole. Michael Cole will go into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. That's my guess. Does Braun Breaker head into Mania as IC champion? Yes. Yes. Thoughts on Irv Gotti's passing? I'm sorry, Chris, I don't know who Irv Gotti is, but my thoughts and prayers and condolences go out to his family. And also my prayers and condolences go to the families that lost their family members through these brutal plane crashes and stuff like that that's been going on over the past week. And of course, the people there still struggling with the fires in California and stuff like that. So, yes, my thoughts and prayers go out to Mr. Gotti's family. I don't know who that is, honestly. If not Charlotte, who does Rhea face at Mania? That's a good question. I think it's gonna be Io Sky. I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it could be Bianca Belair." I think that'd be a cool match and all, but I still think that she's the one that attacked Jade Cargill. Yeah, that's a hot take. I think Bianca Belair attacked Jade Cargill, and I'm kind of hoping we kind of get a hint of where that's going because something's got to give with that storyline. Favorite Super Bowls in recent memory? Good question, my friend. I really enjoyed the one with the Patriots and the Falcons. Just seeing that comeback as it was happening was pretty funny to watch. Even though I was not a Patriots fan at that time. I'm sorry, Pat and Chris. I couldn't stand Tom Brady and Bill Belichick at that time. The Eagles-Patriots one was good, too. I know I'm just mentioning Patriots ones here. Let's see. Let's see if I can pick one that didn't have the Patriots in it. The Steelers and Cardinals in 2008 was cool. The James Harrison pick six before halftime was probably one of the coolest plays I've ever seen in the NFL, especially me being a defensive guy playing defense in high school football. So seeing Debo get the pick six off of Kurt Warner, that Super Bowl was really cool. I was 14 years old for that Super Bowl. It's crazy to think about it. Where did the time go? Let's see. There's so many of these Super Bowls I gotta mention. I'm not really a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I'm just throwing it out there. This is pre-Taylor Swift development, and yes, I am an honorary Swiftie, and I'm not ashamed of it. Give a shout out to my friend Lauren, who really got me back into Taylor Swift and becoming a mark for her now. But no, I am not a Kansas City Chief. I'm not a Kansas City Chief fan. I like Andy Reid, but Patrick Mahomes is two-faced. His brother's an absolute twat. Travis Kelce is an underrated twat. He hides it. I'm not a fan of the Chiefs at all. And this has nothing to do with fatigue or anything like that. I think they're cocky, they're pompous, and I can't stand the Chiefs. And I hope they get their ass kicked on Sunday. They'll probably win, but I hope they get their ass whipped. It's like, I'm in a lose-lose situation here this weekend. I can't stand the city of Philadelphia, and I can't stand the Kansas City Chiefs. They both can go home and stay home as far as I'm concerned. That's a throwback for anybody that listens to my shows over the years. They can go home and stay home. That's how I feel about the Super Bowl this year. So that's the best way I can answer those questions there, my friend. If Sami and KO happened at Mania, what type of match do we think it could be? Shit. I don't know, bro. It's part of me when it comes to like certain grudge matches like that, like just attaching like a no holds barred or a last man standing. I feel this is just not enough in a way. Like, yeah, I could say an I Quit match or something like that. For me personally, I would rather have Sami and KO be an unsanctioned match if that's the match that they're going to have at WrestleMania. But I think that Sami and KO is going to happen at the Elimination Chamber, so I don't think this is going to happen at WrestleMania. So that's the best way I can answer that. And the final question here: if Judgment Day does split, when Judgment Day does split, does JD stick with Finn, or if Drew and Gallus come together, would you put JD maybe with them? I would keep JD with Finn Balor in the Judgment Day. It works as it is. Whatever McIntyre decides to do, that's his deal. I still think there's still a chance that him and Owens and Rollins can strike an alliance with each other. But if Drew McIntyre brings in Gallus to be his lackeys, I wouldn't have a problem with that either. So that'd be pretty cool. So all in all, some really good questions there for the good brother Chris Letta. As always, make sure to follow him on Twitter at xseemsletta24x on the Twitter machine. Before we head out of here, I want to send my prayers and condolences to the Chicago Bears and the McCaskey family, as Virginia Hallis McCaskey unfortunately passed away yesterday at the age of 102 years old. The matriarch of the Chicago Bears and a really sweet, humble lady passed away yesterday. Lived a great life, 102 years old. That's crazy to think about. But I want to send out my prayers to the Bears family and go Bears. And speaking of Bears, congratulations to former Bear Jared Allen for going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2025. I'm kind of surprised how small it is this year. Strange. But anyways, on that note, hope you guys enjoyed the Super Bowl this week. The only thing I'm watching this stupid game for is the Kendrick Lamar performance, and that's pretty much it. But on that note, hope you have a wonderful weekend. Remember, folks, be the authentic product that is yourself. Remember, nobody dictates the pace of your life but yourself and the man upstairs. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe button on YouTube as we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And the best way to support this podcast is to follow and stream the podcast on Spotify. Follow along my play-by-play transcripts at WrestlingHeadlines.com as I cover Raw, SmackDown, and NXT every single week, plus the including WWE PLEs and this new Evolve show that started up in March. Excited to take part in that. Looking forward to that. And that show's going to be on Tubi, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, looking forward to it. More stuff on the horizon. The countdown to episode 500 continues. And have a wonderful weekend, guys. We'll talk to y'all next week. Yeet.
Bye-bye, bitch.